Shana Tova.
Wow.
We are honored to speak with you this evening. So I'm Felicia, this is David. Our kids are here too. Aviva's 6 and Micah is 4. And our cousin Laura is here helping us out. Thanks, Laura. We have been members here, TBZ, for 4 years. We're not quite sure, actually. We can't quite remember, like many things with being parents of young children, and especially during this pandemic, the details are fuzzy. As parents of young ones, we've been pretty distracted. Before the pandemic, you may have seen us in a flash going by on our way to the bathrooms to change a diaper or back to the car to retrieve a toy that was tragically left behind. You might have heard us downstairs trying to pull off the magic of holding off our hungry children until after the kiddush. During the pandemic, you may have noticed our Zoom square. Hi, everyone at home. We're the ones with the table filled with pasta and the gymnastics mat on the floor. Thank goodness for the mute button. TBZ has seen us through these early years of being parents. Before becoming parents, we were members of a different shul in Jamaica Plain, which we also love. Those were the days of actually getting to listen to the whole sermon and even getting to take naps on Yom Kippur. Since becoming parents, this will actually be our very first High Holiday Appeal speech that we hear, so we hope it's a good one. We first started coming to TBZ because a dear friend of ours was involved in Nariya services. We came to Nariya with our then toddler and baby. Faces, once unfamiliar, warmly welcomed us to find a seat in one of the large circles surrounding the musicians in the center. It didn't take long for Aviv, who's a real music lover, to abandon his seat with us in the back and drift toward the center of the circles. He wanted to be as close to the instruments as possible, which is still the case. We have vivid memories of people's hands guiding Aviv as he walked to the center of the circle, chairs scooted to the side to make space. I remember musicians letting Aviv rest a hand on a drum, and congregates sitting near Aviv, looking over at us, making eye contact as if to say, we got him. Meanwhile, David and I were busy in the back, chasing our very active baby around the outer circle. The whole time, the music and prayers swirled with joyful, soulful kavanah. These Nariya services were deeply moving and unlike anything either of us had ever experienced in a Jewish space. We will never forget the deep gratitude we felt on those special Friday nights, gratitude for gorgeous Jewish music enveloping our kids, gratitude for a group of people who so readily guarded and nurtured our children as their own, gratitude for the heartfelt prayers this community sang for peace, for healing, for our planet.
These days, services look pretty different, but we're more grateful than ever. And we're impressed. Both Felicia and I are teachers, so if anyone knows how challenging it is to create meaningful and connected virtual programming, it's us. What TBZ has been able to pull off during this pandemic is remarkable. Back in the early days of the pandemic, I was not hopeful about the prospect of praying over Zoom. It was probably a Friday night in April 2020 when Felicia encouraged us to give it a try. The 4 of us sat on the floor in front of the computer, and when we heard Noah and Rav Claudia, when we heard your voices, my heart melted. I spent that first Zoom service in tears. "Why are you crying?" Aviv asked me. "Because it's so good to be together. And this is just so beautiful." What was beautiful were the songs, the familiarity, the feeling of welcoming this community into our home. What was beautiful was scrolling through hundreds of faces, all in their own different ways, at desks, at tables, or with cameras off, but all trying to be together in whatever way we could. These Zoom services have become a mainstay of our Friday nights as a family. Rav Claudia's voice has become a reassuring presence in our home. We feel quite honored, actually, to have the rabbi join us at Shabbat dinner every Friday night. Her insight and passion and righteous calls for justice reverberate through our Shabbat pasta dinners and shake us into remembering that we are part of a much bigger story. We are abundantly grateful for Rav Claudia.
AKA Lady Gaga.
Right.
Which, phone a friend if you weren't at Purim. Amazing.
And we are grateful to the whole amazing clergy team at TBZ. Noah has taught our children the most beautiful version of the Shema. With sign language and gorgeous hand motions, our boys are learning from Noah how to embody this most sacred prayer. On a regular basis, Noah's song leading lifts us up and carries us through. The children's services Rav Tiferet leads are robust services in their own right. Our children gather around Rav Tiferet and receive the gift of her beautiful Torah reading, surely from the most adorable Torah in Brookline. Rav Tiferet has a deep respect for the minds and intellect of young people, and we're so grateful that Aviv and Micah get to experience Judaism through her joy, wisdom, and warmth. The outdoor services at Griggs Park have become a second shul for our family. In these weeks leading up to the start of Beit Rabban, we've been so glad to meet other families with young kids. I extend immense appreciation for all the families that I have met so far, for your hard work as parents, for the way you have all engaged in shul in so many ways, for your presence here. And to our budding Beit Rabban community, I am optimistic about the connections our children will forge with each other, and hopeful about the parent community that is to develop as we wait around for class to end on Wednesday nights. It's no small thing for a shul to hold and engage young families like ours, particularly amidst the pandemic. Although we're still relatively new here, we know we have landed in a special place. And based on how excited Aviv and Micah were to come tonight, we can tell you they also know it's special here.
Clearly, this is a community that has been an important presence in our lives, holding us as parents and nourishing us through this pandemic. I know we are not alone in holding so much gratitude for all the shul has to offer, and we are now going to ask for your financial support for TBZ. Donations at this time will be responsible for funding almost 30% of the shul's upkeep and programming.
Contributions allow for the doors of TBZ to be open to all, to maintain a membership policy where participants pay what they can afford. Some here have a lot of means, who give above and beyond, and for this we are so grateful. Some do not have financial means or have lost income due to the pandemic. We are grateful in equal measure for your impactful presence and for the financial contributions you can offer. All of our presences here matter, and these doors are open to all. Let us give so that these doors can continue to remain open to all.
Thank you all for your presence here. Oh, I skipped a whole paragraph, sorry. We're almost done though. Although this year there are no tickets, this is actually really important, there are no tickets to the service and therefore no pledge cards at your seat. We know that this evening many of you do want to pledge, so I'm gonna share a couple details about how to do that. So you can hold your generous thoughts right now in your hearts, and a pledge donation will come to you in an appeal mailing soon. You can also at any time, of course, pledge online at the TBZ website, and look out, of course, for the post-Yom Kippur Constant Contact, which will come very soon, I think on Friday, and you can make your pledge donation there. You'll receive all the information. So thank you all. Thank you all for your presence here this evening. Gamar Tov, may you be inscribed in the Book of Life.